from Royal Communications Incorporated, Kings FM 88.5. Good morning and welcome to King's News Broom. King's News Broom of 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Today is Wednesday, January 1, 2025, and I'm Candidates Johnson presenting. In the headlines, Liberian government stands accused of masterminding mysterious death of famous Boulevard Palace general manager Anwar Futler. Highly placed sources at Boulevard Palace informed Kings FM that the top businessman must have been injected with toxic chemicals by government paid talks due to allegations of him being in possession of classified information about the government. Former President George Weah extends condolences to the government and people of the United States of America for the death of former President Jimmy Carter. Weah describes the former U.S. president as a global icon of democracy and human rights. Liberia National Police released preliminary investigative report in the mysterious death of Boulevard Palace general manager, citing consumption of toxic chemicals as cause of death. And away from Liberia, Mozambique main opposition leader Fanacio Montlan has called for unity ahead of a fresh round of protests against the outcome of presidential elections. Those were the headlines. We take a very short break to be back with the news bulletin. Thanks for being there and welcome back. The government of Liberia is accused of masterminding the mysterious death of the general manager of the famous Boulevard Palace Hotel in Cinco. Anwar Futler, Boulevard Palace general manager, was pronounced dead by health authorities at the John F. Kennedy Medical Center on Monday evening. Preliminary reports indicate that he injected a toxic chemical, a highly corrosive substance typically used in cleaning, which caused critical internal injuries, including severe damage to his throat and digestive tract. However, local media have reported that the incident is said to have occurred during a visit to a friend's residence on Nash Street, Cinco, a location he visited. But some workers of the Boulevard Palace who spoke to Kings FM on anonymity accused top officials of the Boaka-led government of hiring talks to assassinate the top businessman. According to them, the Boulevard Palace general manager was facing allegations from top government officials who usually use the hotel for special meetings of being in possession of classified information concerning the government from meetings being held at the hotel. They also asserted that the five-star hotel general manager must have been injected with a toxic chemical by talks allegedly hired by individuals he had disagreement with over his allegation or his alleged possession of classified information about the Liberian government. Following the incident, the Liberian National Police have since launched an investigation focusing on the circumstances leading to his death. But the Boulevard Palace workers described the police investigation as a cover-up. The police initially announced the arrest and detention of security guards stationed at the residence of the Boulevard Palace manager. Former President George Weah has conveyed his deepest sympathy to the government and the people of the United States of America on the passing of former President Jimmy Carter. The U.S. 39th president died at his home in the United States of America, Georgia, on Sunday, December 29, at age 100. In a statement released Monday, the former Liberian president recounted President Carter's contributions, describing him as a global icon of democracy and human rights. Weah also pointed out that Jimmy Carter is considered a friend of Liberia due to his personal pursuit of peace during the country's civil crisis. He at the same time indicated that former US President organization, the Carter Center, has made invaluable contributions in helping to rebuild Liberia from the years of crisis, including interventions in the health sector, access to justice, and freedom of human rights program. According to the former Liberian president, as one of those who was an active participant in efforts to bring peace to Liberia, he fondly recalled how the former American president labored for Liberia, for which Liberians must be grateful. He further mentioned that the deceased US president has left an legacy or a legacy and will almost, among other things, be remembered for his unreserved sense of humanity and commitment to peace, democracy, human rights, humanity, rule of law, and health sector around the world. Following the death, following the Monday, December 30 imprisonment of Criminal Court A Messenger Prince Coon in Grand Bassa County, George Roosevelt Willie has called an emergency meeting with Criminal Court A staff. Belief Coon was jailed by Grand Bassa County resident George Joe Bacon on Monday for 1 month for imprisonment for impersonating as a lawyer at the Second Judicial Circuit Court in Grand Bassa County. Coon is accused of claiming to have graduated from the Louis Attergram School of Law and acted as a lawyer counsel on 2 occasions before his investigation by resident George Joe Bacon. He has since admitted of lacking legal education, something that prompted his imprisonment at the Buchanan Central Prison. Criminal Court A resident George Roosevelt Willie meeting with Stafford of the court is considered significant amidst issues surrounding the imprisonment of the court sheriff in Grand Bassa County. The Liberian National Bar Association has expressed profound sorrow over the passing of Jimmy Carter, the 39th president of the United States of America. President Carter was known for his tireless advocacy for global justice, which have left a lasting impact on Liberia post-conflict legal reform. In a statement, the LMBA praised Carter's significant contributions to the Carter Center Rule of Law program, which championed access to justice in Liberia following years of civil unrest. The program, initiated to strengthen Liberia's legal system, worked in collaboration with the Liberian National Bar Association, the Liberian government, and international bodies. The deceased U.S. former president's dedications to advancing justice has transformed lives and solidified his legacy as a global legal icon. The LMBA also described him as a selfless and unflinching in his support for Liberia's efforts to rebuild its judiciary. The Liberian National Police has released preliminary reports regarding the mysterious death of Anwar Futler, the general manager of Boulevard Palace Hotel in Cinco, Central Monrovia. Futler was pronounced dead by health authorities at the John F. Kennedy Referral Hospital on Monday evening. Addressing a press conference on Tuesday at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police, Inspector General Gregory Coleman disclosed that preliminary reports indicate that Futler died as a result of toxic chemicals. IG Coleman further stated that the police investigation is ongoing and assured the public that the full findings will be made public as soon as possible. The Inspector General urged the public to remain calm, emphasizing that the police forensic investigation team are working gently or diligently to determine the cause of Futler's death. Meanwhile, IG Coleman condemned the violence against 2 alleged motorcyclist thieves in the 72nd community. An angry mob killed the 2 men on Sunday on the Japan Freeway area. Responding to this incident at the press conference, IG Common condemned the violence against any citizen regarding accusations and called for an immediate investigation into the matter. Former Deputy Information Minister for Public Affairs Anthony Isaac Jackson has criticized Finance Minister Augustine Gafuan for what he described as a desperate and self-serving attempt to gain public accolades. Jackson's comment comes days after Minister Gafuan was controversially declared Minister of the Year by a group of government affiliated callers, an announcement that Jackson believes reflects poorly on the minister's integrity and leadership. According to Jackson, the entire episode reveals Gafuan's fluidity and his need for validation through unearned praise. He noted that Minister Gafuan is driven by desperation for accolades, adding that the finance minister is bent to make an absolute fool of himself by resorting a group of remotely controlled government paid callers who name him as Minister of the Year. Jackson follow emphasized that the finance minister's decision to publicly embrace the title of Minister of the Year is indicative of what he termed as childish pursuit of recognition. He accused Gafwan of using the declaration as a means of self-promotion, pointing out that the three United Party brigade members who reportedly bestowed the honor on him were part of a strategy aimed at elevating his image without merit. Jackson also slammed Minister Gafwan for encouraging such a behavior, describing it as ludicrous. A local advocacy group under the banner Center for Intellectual Freedom has criticized the Monrovia City Corporation for poor sanitation conditions around the historic Providence Island. Areas close to Providence Island are being occupied with huge stockpile of garbage, with little or nothing done by the government authorities to address the alarming poor sanitation in the area. The uncontrollable waste have posed health hazards amongst residents in different communities around the Providence Island. Local traders at watersides and bypasses. Speaking Tuesday in Monrovia, head of the local group, Sheikh Balai, accused Monrovia City Mayor John Sharif of showing no interest in keeping the Providence Island and other surrounding communities clean and green. The group also pointed out that the poor sanitation openly seen close to Liberia Historic Center indicates the government low interest in ensuring proper waste management and sanitation across various cities. The Minister of Public Works has expressed grave concerns regarding the collapse of the Atia Bridge in Riverside County. According to a press statement issued by the Ministry of Public Works Monday prior to the collapse, the bridge has undergone intensive repairs by the Ministry Bridge Unit, adding that it is grateful that no lives were lost in the incident. The press statement also noted earlier in November, the ITI bridge faced severe overflooding and unusual vibrations, raising concerns about its structural integrity and prompting the ministry to intervene. The ITI bridge links Riverside County to Sando in the southeast region of Liberia. Residents of Cotton Tree in Magaby County Monday morning woke up to the death of a man believed to be in his early 50s. According to our correspondent in the county, Maurice Moore served as a security guard for a branch of the Monrovia Ore Trading Corporation in Cotton Tree, Magaby County. Our correspondent also said family members have expressed shock over the passing of the 50-year-old man who reportedly died overnight while serving duty. Family members have informed Kings FM, Magaby County correspondent, that Moore did not show any sign of illness prior to his demise, adding that it is difficult to determine the actual cause of his death. Maurice Moore mysterious death marks among recent reports of death of several citizens from different parts of the country. Many persons have blamed the increased mysterious death among Liberians or across Liberia to lack of proper security by the government. The cause of death of Maurice Moore is still unknown. The Ministry of Justice, through the Liberia National Fire Service and the Liberia National Police, has said it has observed the proliferation and irregular distribution and sale of petroleum products in miners' jar at street corners and highways, as well as communities. According to a release issued, the irregular distribution and sale of flammable products violate the public safety laws of Liberia and pose significant threats to human lives and properties. The Ministry of Justice further warns all individuals and filling stations found in the habit of selling flammable substances, including gasoline and fuel oil in miners' jar or cherry cans, to put a stop to such steals. In furtherance, the Ministry of Public Works, that's the Ministry of Justice, instructs all tankers transporting petroleum products, gasoline, and diesel to deliver and distribute these products only to filling stations approved by the government of Liberia. The Ministry of Justice noted that effective January 15, 2025, there will be a complete ban on sales of flammable substances in the street corners and communities. The release added that any individual or filling station caught selling petroleum products in miners' jar or jerry cans will be arrested and the products will be confiscated. The Liberia's the Liberian government failures to retrieve diplomatic passports from recall ambassadors at large and special envoys has cast a dark cloud over President Bouakai's much heralded governance reform agenda. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs' ongoing ineffectiveness in addressing this issue raises concern about the commitment to uphold transparency and accountability in the Unity Party-led government, despite public outcry and the ministry's acknowledgement of the issue. No tangible action has been taken to address the misuse of diplomatic privileges by former officials, a lapse that threatens Liberia's institutional integrity and international reputation. The director of the Internal Audit Agency of Liberia, David Keman, has highlighted achievements of the agency during the year on a review. Speaking on the state radio in Monrovia, Director Keman said a total of 12 special audits, which signify this fight against financial malpractice, were conducted by the agency in 2024. Keman used their move to align with the entity's compliance measures, which aim at ensuring accountability for the usage of public funds. He revealed that each institution that was affected by the agency's audit received a copy of the audit report with recommendations for further actions, noting that the report has been included in the overall audit report for onward submission to the president. The IAA boss also boasted of an increase in compliance with the number of internal audits with significant deployments across government ministries and agencies. He at the same time dispelled media reports that the IAA indicted the Broom County College after a special audit at the institution. That's the news bulletin. We take a very short break. When we return, we'll bring you the voices of the newsmakers. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to King's News Broom, 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Today is Wednesday, January 1, 2025, and I'm Cornelius Johnson presenting. Stories we are following closely in the headlines. Liberian government stands accused of masterminding mysterious death of famous Boulevard Palace general manager Anwar Futler Highly placed sources at Boulevard Palace informed Kings FM that the top businessman might have been injected with toxic chemicals by government paid talks due to allegations of him being in possession of classified information about the government. Former President George Weah extends condolences to the government and people of the United States of America for the death of former President Jimmy Carter. Weah describes the former US president as a global icon of democracy and human rights. Liberia National Police released preliminary investigations in the mysterious death of Boulevard Palace general manager, citing consumption of toxic chemical as cause of death. And away from Liberia, Mozambique's main opposition leader, Fanasio Mondlane, has called for unity ahead of a fresh round of protests against the outcome of presidential elections. Let's now bring you the voices of the newsmakers. The Liberia National Police has released preliminary reports regarding the mysterious death of Anwar Futler, the general manager of Boulevard Palace Hotel in Cinco, Central Monrovia. Futler was pronounced dead by health authorities at the John F. Kennedy Referral Hospital on Monday evening. Addressing a press conference on Tuesday at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police, Inspector General Gregory Coleman disclosed that preliminary police reports indicate that Faulkner died as a result of toxic chemicals. IG Coleman further stated that the police investigative report is ongoing and assure the public that full findings will be made public as soon as possible.
Yesterday, we were informed of from the Singapore community reporting an incident involving Mr. Anwar Footloop, the general manager of Boulevard Palace. Mr. Footloop, he was reported to have ingested some chemical, a declogger, one of those things that you use to pour in the drain to declog it, and rushed to the medical facility. It was later pronounced dead. We are investigating circumstances surrounding his death. The initial look of things, it looks it's synonymous to suicide. However, we are keeping an open mind in the investigation. As I speak to you, the coroner inquest is ongoing for on the remains of Mr. Fidlu. The coroner should be reporting within the next few hours. And once that is done, we will have a definite conclusion on the matter. But for now, it has all of the elements of suicide. But until we can get the final word from the coroner, we're going to hold on to what we have. We have brought in people to assist with the investigation. Nobody's under arrest. These are people who were in his line of movement yesterday, and they are fully cooperating with the investigation. And I think we're leading to some closure at this matter. But until we can get the coroner inquest completed, we will not rush to speak any further.
Meanwhile, IG Common condemned the violence against two alleged motorcycle thieves in the 72nd community. An angry mob killed the two men on Sunday in the Japan Freeway area. Responding to this incident at the press conference, IG Common condemned the violence against any citizen regardless of accusations and called for an immediate investigation into the matter.
On Sunday, December 29, 2024, in the 72nd community in Painesville City, two individuals were brutally murdered in an act of mob justice for allegedly stealing a motorcycle. One of those victims was captured on camera being mobbed to death, and The other was subsequently killed as well. This heinous act of violence is totally unacceptable, and it goes against the principles of justice, human rights, and dignity that we as a nation have subscribed to and continue to aspire to improve in our country. The Liberia National Police, we condemn this action very strongly, and we can assure the public that the perpetrator will be brought to justice. As we speak to you, investigation is ongoing. We have been able to make full arrest of suspects that we can place on the scene. We're trying to see if we can connect them to the video. But as far as we are, we've been able to place those suspects on the scene where the incident occurred.
His police IG Gregory Coleman. The minister, that's the Ministry of Public Works, has expressed grave concerns regarding the collapse of the ITR bridge in Riverside County. According to a press release issued by the Ministry of Public Works prior to the collapse, the bridge has gone that's undergone intensive repairs by the Ministry of Bridge Unit, adding that it is grateful that no lives were lost in the incident. The press statement also noted earlier in November the ITR bridge faced severe overflooding and unusual vibrations, raising concerns about the structural integrity and prompting the ministry to intervene. The ITR bridge links Riverside County to Sino in the southeast region of Liberia. Kings FM reporter Veronica Morba has a report.
Amidst the tragic accident in Riverside County, the Ministry of Public Works has expressed grave concerns regarding the collapse of the RTR bridge in the county. According to a press statement issued by the Ministry of Public Works on Monday, prior to the collapse, the bridge has undergone intensive repairs by the Ministry Bridge Unit, adding that it is grateful that no lives were lost in the incident. The press statement also noted earlier in November the RTI bridge faced several overflowing and unusual vibration, raising concerns about its structural integrity and prompting the ministry to intervene. The Ministry of Public Works further mentioned that in response, the bridge unit promptly decommissioned the bridge and conducted repairs ahead of schedule. The statement also indicated that the damaged components were replaced and structural underwent a thorough inspection by the ministry before being deemed fit for relaunch. The incident occurred barely a week after the bridge was reopened to the public following months of rehabilitation works carried out by the Ministry of Public Works. The RTI bridge links Riverside County to Sano and other parts of southeastern region. According to report from the county, the bridge collided on early Monday when a low bear carrying an excavator broke into the bridge, causing its failure. Meanwhile, residents have expressed concern about the impact of the current situation, noting that it will hinder trade and free movement in the area. Some local residents also accused the Ministry of Public Works of doing poor rehabilitation works on the bridge, which have resulted to its collapse. Reporting for King News, I am Veronica S. Moba.
Veronica Morba there with that report. Residents of Cotton Tree in Margibi County Monday morning woke up to the death of a man believed to be in his early 50s. According to our correspondent in the county, Morris Moore served as security guard for a branch of the Monrovia Oil Trading Corporation in Cotton Tree, Margibi County. Our correspondent also said family members have expressed shock over the passing of the 50-year-old man who reportedly died overnight while serving duty. Here is our Margibi County correspondent.
This morning, the people in Carthage wake up with this sad news where they discovered the death. They discovered the body of a man who believed to be in early 50. The name is Mr. Morris Moore. He was a watchman at the Monrovia Oil Trading Corporation, the branch in Cotton Tree. And this is the body. He died right in the chair when the people people wake up this morning, they saw him just lying in a chair. Here is his body, right in Cotton Tree here. And you see people from Cotton Tree all here, seeing, wanting to see people gather this morning for this surprising news to just hear that this man is dead. Here he is. He died right in his chair. This is the body. The name is Maurice Moore. He died right in the chair. And so there's so many people in Cotton Tree wake up and they wake up and got the news that this man is dead and he died right in the chair. For a man who came to work, and I was asking some of the family members, they said he never one day told them that he wasn't well, and in fact he was joking with them yesterday, telling them that he will be ready to witness Chelsea game. Chelsea game, I think that's what some of the family members told me this morning, and so just this, excuse me, for them to receive information that he died this morning right in the chair, and you can see this body. Here he is. Yes, he was a watchman for the Monrovia Oil Trading Corporation branch in Cotton Tree. They sell gas here. Right here, when you come from Javier entering Cotton Tree, on your left there's a gas station here. There where he was working, he was serving here as a watchman. So he came to work yesterday, only to look, he was discovered this morning dead right in the chair. This is the position he was in, and security, you come and rest in the chair a little bit to take a nap, and he was discovered dead this morning here.
Our Margibi Council reporter there expressing grave concern over the death of a man believed to be in his early 50s. A local advocacy group on the Banner Center for Intellectual Freedom has criticized the Monrovia City Corporation for poor sanitation condition around the historic Providence Island. Areas close to the Providence Island are being occupied with huge stockpile of garbage, with little or nothing being done by the government authorities to address the alarming poor sanitation in the area. The uncontrollable waste have posed health hazards among residents in the different communities around the Providence Island, including local traders at Waterside and Bypasser. Speaking Tuesday in Monrovia, head of the local group, Sheikh Bala, accused Monrovia City Mayor John Shiafa of showing no concern or interest in keeping the Providence Island and other surrounding communities clean and green.
Fresh statement for immediate release. Fellow Liberians, sons and daughters of Africa's oldest democracy, esteemed member of the media, intellectuals, and all patriotic citizens striving for the redemption and the dignity of the oppressed. We extend to you revolutionary greetings from the Center for Intellectual Freedom, CIF, the vanguard of intellectual resistance and progress. Comrades, CIF alarm on the escalating sanitation crisis beseeching Monrovia. Under the stewardship of the United Party government, this resurgence of unrestrained waste accumulation echoes the failures witnessed during the CDC regime, prompting us to call the urgent redress over the past 5 years. Henceforth, in this context of the United Party regime that came to power on the mantra of rescuing the ordinary Liberian people, we must be forthright and unequivocal under the banner of the Center for Intellectual Freedom Consciousness. The leadership of Monrovia, specifically Mayor John Siafa, who was perpetually failed to address the pressing sanitation need of the capital city. The citizens of Liberia and Monrovia in particular are not experiencing the improvement in sanitation that was promised. Specifically, the public spaces along the river banks, particularly under near the Gabriel Tucker and the waterside bridges, which serve as a gateway to the central city, are disgracefully neglected. This area must be clean and maintained at all times. Our people deserve an environment conducive of health, dignity, and prosperity.
He's Sheikh Balai, head of a local advocacy group on the Banner Center for Intellectual Freedom. They're speaking. The Liberian government's failure to retrieve diplomatic passports and recall ambassadors at large and special envoys has cast a dark cloud over President Boakai's much heralded governance reform agenda. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs' ongoing ineffectiveness in addressing this issue raises concern about the commitment to uphold transparency and accountability in the Unity Party-led government. King's FM Benjamin Johnson has a report.
This morning, the people in Carton should wake up with this sad news.
The government of Liberia failure to retrieve diplomatic passport from recalled ambassador at large and special envoys has cast a dark cloud over President Boakai much heralded government reform agenda. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs ongoing ineffectiveness in addressing these issues about the commitment to hold transparency and accountability the Unity Party-led government. Despite public outcry and the ministry acknowledgement to these issues, no tangible actions have been taken to address the measures of diplomatic privileges from by former officials of government that threaten Liberia's institutional integrity and international reputation. 6 weeks has passed since President Boakai terminated the appointment of all ambassadors at large, special envoy, trade and investment representative as part of his government reform draft. While only 3 individuals have been made to revoke their diplomatic passport, others continue to water their power and privileges associated with the diplomatic passport. Reports suggested that these as officials exploit their expired title to advance private interests, soliciting funds from foreign nationals and engaging in questionable activities on Liberia's name. One of the most alarming cases involved Ambassador Ali Kebe, former special envoy accused of facilitating the illegal entrance of foreign nationality involving in dubious money operations in Liberia's southeastern region. The revelation was brought to light by Ibrahim Masale, an assistant coach for Kebbi undocumented sport academy. Masale exposed how unattached diplomatic privilege has used by Kebbi in order to weaponize and undermine national resources and insecurity. King FM News investigation have further uncovered the Ministry of Foreign Affairs' inability to recover this passport across its damage to the country's international image. Deputy Minister for Legal Affairs, Jerry Aman, admitted that no formal effort had been made to retrieve the passport. Instead, on verbal instruction for former appointee to Deputy Minister for Legal Affairs, Judy Aman, admitted that no formal effort had been made to retrieve the passport. The lack of formal actions has prompted widespread criticism as it is seen as a failure of governance and an example of negligence allowing formal officials to follow the law with impunity. The government's inability to enforce even basic measures in this area has raised alarm, with critics pointing directly at Foreign Minister Sarah Yanti. President Boakai administration's campaign on a platform of reform and transparency is now facing growing insecurity. For King's News, I'm Benjamin A. Johnson reporting.
King's FM Benjamin Johnson there with that report. The Director General of the Internal Audit Agency of Liberia, David Keman, has highlighted achievements of the agency during the year on a review. Speaking on state radio in Monrovia, Director Keman said a total of 12 special audits, which signified the fight against financial malpractices, were conducted by the agency in 2024. Keman said the move aligns with the entity's compliance measures, which aimed at ensuring accountability for the use of public funds.
The eye is in a much better place than it was last year in terms of the cooperation we are receiving from heads of entity. And I think that is very good for the fight against fraud, use, and abuse in the public sector. There will always be concern from heads of entity. When you have power sometimes and somebody wants to checkmate you, you do get concerned. We do get some pushback, but on the most part, when we speak to heads of entities, when we tell them what our role is, we get the cooperation. One, in fact, good thing we're doing now, we're following up on other recommendations, which is a cardinal part of what we do. So we follow up on other recommendations with heads of institutions and then find out those respective departments that should be working to implement those recommendations. It's not always going to be 100%, but we have to keep pushing on, and that's what we do. Well, first, when we set up at the beginning of the year, to have an auditor assigned at a MAX, Ministry Agency, Commission, or SOE, State-owned enterprise. The first thing our auditor will do, or what we do a risk assessment of the entity, and then try to identify those areas that we think that are auditable areas of concerns. Once we do a risk assessment, also do a plan. We do our audit plan. So the plan will tell us what we're going to be doing during the course of the year in terms of what areas we're going to be looking at, what activities we're going to be looking at.
The IA boss also boasted of an increase in compliance in the number of internal audits, with significant deployment across government ministries and agencies. He at the same time dispelled media reports that the RAA inducted the Broom County College or Community College after a special audit at the institution.
We did an audit for the Broom Community College, which was requested by the head of the Broom Community College, and we sent them a copy of that report. I can confidently say how it got in the press, but one of RAA cardinal responsibility, which we think is a requirement for our auditors, is that our work is internal work, and we share it with the head of the institution. We share it with what the law says, where we need to share those copies. And it's possible sometimes, for other reasons, it gets in the press. It's RA's job to indict anybody. So I will tell you this. The IA Act says that all public-related issues from the IA should come from the Director General. So if it didn't come from with my endorsement or my approval, it's not from the IA.
He's the Director General of the Internal Audit Agency of Liberia, Damon Keman. Away from Liberia now, Mozambique's main opposition leader, Vanasio Mondlane, has called for unity ahead of the first round of protests against the outcome of presidential elections. In a live broadcast on his Facebook page, Mondlane, who is in self-imposed exile, all citizens to join hands in their neighborhoods at 11:45 p.m. and sing the national anthem until 2025 kicks in. Mozambique has faced one of its deadliest weeks since October, when Mondlane first called for protests after rejecting his defeat in the elections. A local monitoring group, Platinum Foreman, said that 179 people died in riots last week after the country's highest court confirmed that the ruling party candidate, Daniel Chapo, won the election. This brought the death toll to 278 people since demonstration began, after the Electoral Commission declared Chapo winner of the elections in October, extending his term of 49-year rule. Well, on that note, that's how we come to the end of King's News Broom. King's News Broom is a 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. Just before we go, here are stories we closely follow in the headlines. Liberian government stands accused of masterminding mysterious death of former famous Boulevard Palace general manager Anwar Footlow. Highly placed sources at Boulevard Palace informed Kings FM that the top businessman must have been injected with toxic chemicals by government paid thugs due to allegations of him being in possession of classified information about the government. Former President George Weah extends condolences to the government and the people of the United States of America for the death of former President Jimmy Carter. Weah describes the former U.S. president as a global icon of democracy and human rights. Liberia National Police released preliminary investigative reports in the mysterious death of Bolivar Palace General Manager, citing consumption of toxic chemicals as cause of death. And away from Liberia, Mozambique main opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, has called for unity ahead of a fresh round of protests against the outcome of presidential elections. Many thanks to all of our reporters, editors, and contributors in making this production a success. Join us that's 1 p.m. this afternoon for another presentation of King's Newsroom. My name is Cornelius Johnson. I presented. Good morning.